Welcome back to Become a Bat. I'm your host, Tom,
And I'm Mike.
and today, this is our 52nd episode of Become a Bat, which is a significant number in the DC Pantheon,
I was just going to say that if you didn't say it.
but not significant yet. That won't be for a long time. We're still fighting Nazis. This is Batman 15. We're going to we're going to finish it off with The Two Futures and The Loneliest Men in the World. We're continuing our our new format,
Which is read along, basically.
yeah, it's more or less a read along.
We did pre-read these, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think I should have read it twice, but
We didn't really discuss who's going to read what. Do you want to
Yeah.
read this one?
Let me do
'Cause
the
I
two
really want to do
futures.
the splash page.
okay, yeah.
I mean,
All right.
I would just do all of them if I could.
All right, so this is story number 3, The Two Futures.
All right.
Okay. It is art by Jack Burnley and Ray Burnley, story by Bill Finger.
You want to talk about that page before I read it?
Oh, I thought you were gonna describe it.
Oh, I was going to let
Oh.
you describe it, and I was just going to
Okay, yeah. I mean, I'll describe it. Okay, so yeah, this is a really good one.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, the art is killer. So basically, it's Batman and Robin reveling over the Nazi tanks and planes that they've destroyed.
Yeah.
They're basically standing on this cliff, and behind the cliff, it looks like there's Gotham City, and it's like a shining golden city, untouched. And below the cliff it's a sign that says Gotham City Dump, and then it is it's a graveyard for Nazi tanks and planes and
Submarines.
It's very impressive,
Yeah.
and yeah, the art is just gorgeous.
I know why the Burnley brothers did this one, because there's way more details in here and way more realism,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't think that Bob Kane could have pulled it off.
No, there's a lot of love and care in putting this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So go with the splash page now. I mean the thingy. blurb.
All right. Have you wondered what is in store for America and for you when the slave armies of the insane dictators have ended their murderous assault upon the dissent and peaceful nations of the world? Here is your answer in unforgettable terms given by the mighty Batman and his loyal Robin, who wondered too and discovered that while the past is beyond changing and the present darkened by the thunderclouds of war, the future still belongs to those of us with courage to make it what we will. A nightmare of shuddering terror, or a golden era of glorious dreams come true. You have only to choose between them when you have read this gripping tale of The Two Futures.
It was decent, not dissent.
Oh, damn it! I fucked it all up.
Whatever. So yeah, this one is very unusual story. It's not like a normal Batman. There's criminals, or we follow a specific person and see their life of crime or whatever, and Batman thwarts the crime, and all's good in the world. Batman and Robin, they go to college. They go to a college, at Gotham University, I guess. And they visit a professor, Professor Rayner, who's the world's greatest historian, and apparently he makes a lot of predictions.
Mm-hmm.
So basically the whole crux of the story is they ask him what's the future hold, and he's like, well, there's a good future and a bad future, and we kind of see both possible futures.
Real quick, there's 2 panels on this page I like a lot.
Mm.
The panel where they're talking to him,
Mhm.
and the library has 3 colors, 3 primary colors in the background.
Yeah.
The red curtains and the bookcase, which is half blue, half yellow. It's very striking.
Mm-hmm.
It stands out. And then on the right, look at that cool side profile Batman's head.
Mm.
All in black again,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the cape's all got some of the blue.
Yeah, and it's got pleats and folds.
I thought you were gonna talk about the one at the bottom here with Batman.
Obviously, I'd love that one too.
Yeah,
But
it's very. It's got that Adam West energy.
yeah, like the.
There is a lot of Adam West energy to this issue.
I think that the Burnley brothers draw them more kinetically.
Yeah.
And I even noticed when I was reading this one that they show Batman constantly in motion.
Mm-hmm. So, anyways, Professor Rayner, Rayner, he introduces Batman to 2 of his associate professors or whatever. One is their names Pro and Con. So I guess one of them tells him about the good future, and one of them tells him about the bad future.
You think those are nicknames or real names?
Proe. I don't know.
Proteus.
There's a concept. I can never remember what it's
Maybe they're
called.
Proteus and Confucius.
Oh.
Yeah.
Maybe.
I'm reaching.
Yeah. Anyway, so a preview of our future by stretching our imaginations just a little. We may see it as vividly as it is shown to Batman and Robin, who will remember whatever man can imagine is possible, yet it is opposite of impossible also. Thus, men can decide to sink or strive towards the light. Very poetic. So, I guess they see the bad future first. And in the bad future, Gotham is taken over by the Nazis.
Yeah.
They open up a concentration camp, and we see like a little story about a boy who wasn't in. He's not in the concentration camp, but his mom and like
Little
infant, sister
baby brother,
were,
baby sister.
baby sister, and he's trying to give her some food, and she's like, "You got to get out of here." And then one of the Nazis like tries to like get him, but like Batman swoops in, saves him, and the boy even like gets a good shot in with his slingshot.
Yeah.
I was about to call it a boomerang.
His sling.
It's been a long day. Oh my.
These panels remind me of two things.
Mm.
Like this part of the story here, because
Mhm.
he's seeing like the two distinct versions of the future.
Yeah.
Reminds me a little bit of that Tales of the Batman or whatever it's called from the animated series, where you're seeing different versions of Batman.
Yeah.
But it also really reminds me of Zack Snyder and Batman having those visions of the future
Mm-hmm.
where everything is destroyed and being like, I can't let this happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the idea. Like this would have been like a really cool like miniseries on its own of Gotham like taken over by Nazis, and
Yeah.
we got like a resistance Batman.
Yeah, they could totally do that as an Elseworlds Batman.
Yeah.
And you didn't even really get into like the detail and the art here. Like
Yeah. Go
it's,
for it. Yeah.
Uh,
You're the art guy.
Yeah, well, it's really it's like terrifying. It's meant to like scare you. Like, it's
Yeah.
definitely like they're telling little kids that Nazis are scary because they have like today people would call this 9/11 imagery, but you have like planes flying at a city, just literally like
Mhm.
leveling the skyscrapers. You have Nazis marching through these leveled skyscrapers in downtown with their flags. You have Nazis like shooting people who are up against concrete walls, just like just mowing people down. You have them like joking while there's a guy hanging from a noose in the background in the middle of the city, and then you have them literally just beating people to the ground with
Mhm.
batons. It's pretty
Yeah.
gruesome.
This is the Japanese have also. It's like a collaboration here between the Nazis and the Japanese. So we do get an unfortunately stereotypical image of a Japanese person,
They had like a weird,
soldier.
what's that word when you like combine words into one word? Is it a
Portmanteau? Yeah,
Yeah, they had a portmanteau for that back then for and like
Japan Nazi.
Japan Nazi. There you
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
Stupid, but Nazis suck. So
Yeah. Looking at like this page in particular, like you wouldn't if you saw this like out of context, you wouldn't even know this is a Batman comic.
no, it looks like a war comic.
Yeah. So anyways, the kid, Batman does swoop in, they take out the Nazi. But Batman and Robin get knocked out and they get sent to like a prison.
Mm-hmm.
And then the boy ends up breaking them free. Like they're put in like a basement.
Mm-hmm.
That's another word I almost forgot. We don't have basements in Arizona.
Not really. There's a couple, but
Yeah, I've been making a lot of beer and stuff, and I would really like a basement right now. It would make storing stuff so much easier.
can we just for a second talk about the ridiculous one-liners these Nazis have?
Yeah.
Like Hemo, their men from Mars are attacking when Batman attacks him.
Mm-hmm.
Batman does not look like a guy from Mars.
No.
Or just like the way their dialogue is written, it's written to give them like a stupid German accent. Like they're purposely like talking that way.
Yeah.
Like der little brat will never kick another soldier of der Fuhrer.
Yeah. It makes.
It's like ridiculous.
I wonder, like, yeah, they're not like speaking German. They're doing that thing where they're just speaking English because
like
it's for English,
phonetically
obvious. Yeah.
spell that it's
Some
bad.
slightly broken English with
Yeah.
Germanisms.
But you can tell they're trying to do that to sort of like make it kind of funny while they're doing some shit that's really
Yeah.
scary.
It's like a proto Hogan's Heroes.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. So the boy, while Batman and Robin are like tied up in the basement, there's like one guard like standing there, and then the boy uses his slingshot and like nails one right in the back of the head with a rock.
Mm-hmm.
It actually looked really painful. So And then Batman basically breaks himself free by like grabbing the guy's bayonet and cutting himself out, and then he's able to like pry the bars open. So, anyways, they escape uh out of the prison, and then they're about to be. They actually like they stage like an escape. They like throw the Batman throws the bayonet at like one of the like the cars, like the tire, and like makes it crash into a pole, which is pretty gnarly. Like that's cool. Like, look at the panel. Like all the guys are like three men are like clear through the window.
I know.
Like
It's brutal.
they are dead. But you know what? If you said you, I think the Batman doesn't kill people and the Batman kills people can both agree here that these people these Nazis Batman didn't kill anybody here because they're Nazis and Nazis aren't people.
I think the whole thing is Batman doesn't kill, but he kills Nazis.
Nazis are
and
okay.
vampires. He kills Nazis and
And
vampires,
vampires,
and
yep.
werewolves
Yep.
and monsters. That's about it.
And occasionally people.
Occasionally people if they're in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Wrong
But it's
time,
not
yeah.
Batman's fault, okay?
Yeah.
You put yourself there.
Anyways, but after their daring escape, they do get captured and they're about to be executed. And we see, oh shit, no, that's the end of that possible bad future. Like they're like taken to the wall and like about to be shot. America's future, not a pretty one if we are if we are to let this version of it stand. But wait, the Batman and Robin are protesting at the wise historians who have more to say on the subject. So they're asking the professors like, what if you're wrong? What if everything else goes right?
Mm-hmm.
And then sorry, I don't remember like this much of this part of the issue as much, but
This is just them preaching to the crowd here.
yeah, there's like this is definitely like a propaganda issue.
Yeah, they're like give
big
us all
time.
the war bonds we can possibly buy. And
Yeah.
it's Bruce Wayne, so he's gonna buy tons of them.
Yeah, so the rest of the issue is basically them trying to make like the good part of history happen.
Yeah.
We see like good old USA soldiers marching, and we see like a big battleship, and then Batman and Robin like flying around. And then they find like a secret radio station here in the States, somewhere in Gotham, presumably. And then there's Nazis in there making their plans. Batman like Nazis and Japanese people. The Japanese. I'm not used to talking about the Japanese. I'm like in World War II as much.
No, it's weird.
Yeah.
Well, we can call them the Japanazis because I'm not saying it that like
I'm not gonna go there myself.
well,
I don't.
they're just the Nazis.
We'll just say that the Axis powers.
yeah,
Yeah,
I was gonna say
Axis.
that these
That's
are just
the
like,
actual term, I believe.
they're Japanese Nazis. Like
Yeah.
how there's neo Nazis. Like not all Japanese are Nazis, but these
Yeah.
guys are.
The Japanese, the Imperial Army, I think they were called at the time. Anyway, there's this feels very quaint to me now, but when Batman punches the Japanese guy, and he says, "Remember Pearl Harbor."
That was so ridiculous.
And like it kind of takes me out of it big time because like I only ever see that in like modern day when like racists are like
yeah, that
doing
took
like
me out of it, too.
anti-Asian hate,
As soon as I saw that, I was like, "Did Frank Miller write this?
right?
Like, what
Yeah.
is this?"
Like, but I'm like, okay, this is like the original like
Yeah.
actual context people would have done it. It actually would have been like what this would have been like a few months after. It was what, December 1942?
Yeah,
Yeah, so this is 1943. So yeah,
it's
barely.
reactionary storytelling.
Yeah, we're like, and they probably wrote, drew this a couple months before it
Yeah.
published. So this is like less than 6 months after Pearl Harbor.
Didn't Frank Miller want to write a story just like this about the Taliban or something called
He-
Holy Terror Batman?
It was Holy Terror Batman.
and
It
then
was
he ended up turning it into its own thing.
because Frank Miller took forever to do anything back in
Also,
those days.
it was a little.
Here was
politically charged.
really bad. He actually after 9/11 he like something like broke in his brain like it did with like so many people.
Yeah.
But apparently the Trump election actually like rewired him.
Okay.
Like so he actually
In a good
came
way
back.
or a bad way?
No, in a good way. Like he
Oh,
like
okay.
I'm not saying he's like politically perfect now. Like
yeah.
but like he kind of like woke up, so to speak, and is like, oh shit, I've been like a dumbass for like this last 20 years.
Is that why his newer comics are better than some of his older stuff?
It might be that. I know he probably had some health problems.
Yeah.
So, but like he's like looking. I guess he must be doing better these days.
I think his wife left him too.
Lynn Varley. Yeah, I know
that's probably
they
an
divorced.
eye-opener.
I know I don't remember when that was. That was a while ago though.
Yeah, but I think it all became official, and she officially left, and then he probably was like, "Oh crap."
I'm not gonna speculate there. They
I
probably
was reading
still,
about it. I just
yeah.
forget the details.
Yeah, I know they probably have a good like working relationship still, but I don't know about that. But yeah, I know he said like the Trump election like basically like woke him up. I think that was part of the impetus for Dark Knight 3.
Probably, which
And
is
some
better.
of and some of the Joker stuff where like I think
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Well,
You know, they speaking of the Death Note creator made like a new chapter of Death Note a few years back
oh yeah.
where Trump gets the Death Note.
Oh shit! I'll have to look that up. I didn't know about
It's
that.
crazy.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah, you gotta check it out. It's funny. Oh my god.
Anyways, before we go to the next issue,
Mhm.
I just want to remind everybody that it's your battle, your future, your America.
Yeah, that
Keep
last
your
panel.
faith. Keep faith with your country. Work and save for Uncle Sam, and it will be your victory. The end.
Yeah. Basically, Batman and Robin like
They're Uncle Sam.
their Uncle Sam. They help the Allies like just like bomb a crap load of ships out in like the ocean, and they end World War II
Yeah.
in this hypothetical future.
Right.
And then America becomes a utopia, all thanks to this, and everything was fine. The end.
Basically.
Yeah. It's an interesting issue.
It definitely is.
Yeah. There's a lot to unpack, I would say. Definitely from like a historical point of view. If you enjoy World War II propaganda,
If you like World War II, you'll probably like this one.
yeah, it's a good time
It's
capsule.
weird to say if you like World War II, but there are people out there that are obsessed with it. So
Yeah, we're getting further away from it too, and a lot of the people are dying, like from the generation. So
Yeah.
it's becoming like more and more less and less living history,
Right.
which is weird because like a lot of when we were growing up, there was still a lot of World War II soldiers around. It was like barely 50 years after,
Mm-hmm.
so like it was a while ago, but like it was still like we could see the people around and the stories being told and all that, but now it's becoming more and more lost to time.
Yep.
So it's becoming more important to study this. Anyway, any final thoughts on this one?
I would just say that I like it when the Burnleys draw Batman.
Mhm.
I feel like he's more expressive and more athletic, and just like the action goes off better, and the background and detail, like everything's better.
Yeah,
But they have a knack for realistic storytelling.
yeah. Which I guess the parts of this that like it started out kind of realistic, even though it's got a
I
very
just mean
bomb.
like the art is
Yeah,
realistic.
oh,
I'm not saying
yeah.
like the story's realistic, but the art's realistic.
Yeah. It definitely feels like the most out of place parts were Batman and Robin. So we're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna decompress after all that, and we're gonna talk about the loneliest men in the world. It's Christmas time again in Gotham.
Again?
Again, yes.
I guess yeah, we did do a Christmas episode not that long ago.
It doesn't feel that long ago, but it's already April. I still think of it's like February, right?
Mm-hmm.
Isn't that weird? Time flies. And we were talking about this earlier, but like, so this is like a Christmas. It's like centered around Christmas, but it's not like a Christmas issue.
No, I mean it's I guess in a way kind of is thematic because like Scrooge is like a lonely guy, and there's Christmas Carol, and
Last time we were close. Last time we had Christmas issues, they kind of like lined up. We were like 2 or 3, and we decided like, okay, Christmas is coming, so we'll hold off on for like a month or 2.
mm-hmm.
But we're in 1943, and we have so many Christmases that it's just not going to be practical to do that. So
yeah,
we're gonna do some Christmas stuff out of season as they pop up. But we'll probably like I think we'll like when we get closer to Christmas this year, we'll hoard some of them as we get there. You want to describe this? Oh wait.
What?
Yeah, we got to actually say what story and
Well, the story's called "The Loneliest Men in the World."
art by Bob Kane, Jerry Robinson, George Russos, and the story is by Don Cameron.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you want to describe the splash page?
I do. It's a city corner, I guess like a little intersection in
Yeah.
Gotham City. On Christmas, I'm assuming it's
Mhm.
snowy. There's snow all over the buildings and all over the street, and you can see the window of the building that's on the corner. It says Xmas cards, and then you've got a bunch of gangsters on one side firing their guns at the bat plane, and then a bunch of people, not gangsters, on the other side waving like, "Oh, hey, Merry Christmas!" as the bat plane flies overhead. And the bat plane's covered in snow and like a bunch of Christmas ornaments, and it's dragging a banner that says "Merry Christmas."
I like to imagine that like as the Batmobile, like the bat plane flew away, and then like the gangsters just like went about what they were doing earlier, like
They're just like
yeah,
when they see the
the
bat
people are
plane.
like done waving, like
Yeah,
they don't even like acknowledge that like shooting at something is just weird as hell, and
right.
like yeah,
Two more details. One in the background, there's Santa Claus, and it's all ghostly looking, like he's just like, "Good job, Batman."
yeah,
And then on the other little corner, right where it says "The Loneliest Man in the World," there's a star.
mm,
It's the star of Jesus, I guess. I
I
mean,
think
they don't
yeah,
associate that with Santa at all, right?
no,
I don't know what the actual star is called. The North Star.
the way this looks, the Santa ghost,
Yeah,
it's definitely got that like you know how like you'll watch an anime and they'll talk about like a character who died
yeah.
and they're like, "Thank you so much. I know you're watching over me." It's got that look to it. So
It's
like,
like the Yoda ghost or
yeah,
Obi-Wan Kenobi.
yeah. It's got this implication to me that like Santa died.
Maybe he did die and we didn't know, and he's Batman's carrying on his legacy.
Maybe. All right, let me give this one a
Oh,
shot.
I gotta mention
Oh,
that the blurb on this page
mhm,
is surrounded by a wreath.
it is.
Yeah.
All right. You know what we gotta do? We gotta like start like typing these up so they're like easier to read. I just thought of that now. Like type it.
I like reading. I like the challenge of trying to read it and
Yeah.
not screw up.
Merry Christmas to lovers of high adventure everywhere, Batman and Robin. When the mighty champions of justice sweep across a winter's night, carrying happiness to strange, sad places, a vengeful underworld chieftain seizes the opportunity to strike treacherously at his most hated enemies. Tears and laughter, thrills and hairbreadth escapes, romance and peril, all these blend into an amazing Christmas Eve when the Batman and Robin meet the loneliest men in the world.
I want to know who writes those. I feel like they're all written by the same person. Do you think it's Bob Kane?
I don't think it's Bob Kane
Do
writing
you
them,
think
but
it's Bill Finger
they
writing them
do
all?
have like the same cadence.
They really do.
Like like a lot of like when we're reading these like stories, we can like definitely tell when it's like, okay, this is Jerry Robinson.
Yeah.
We could tell like a Don Cameron has a different feel,
But
but the blurbs all have like the
always feel
same.
the same. I thought maybe they're Jerry Robinson.
Either that or maybe like they're the editor.
I don't know, but I like them. I really want to
yeah.
know because they're like when I read a bad issue of Batman that
Mhm.
I kind of barely enjoy, I still enjoy the blurb.
Yeah.
Just gotta say. All right, I'm gonna attempt to go through this issue, but I
Yeah.
might butcher it because there's not actually a lot going on here.
There really isn't.
So it's kind of hard to explain everything.
Yeah.
So I might just grab some pictures and try to. We'll see what happens. Anyways, it's night. This whole thing is like in like the little panels. I forget what you call those on the top of the. Excuse me.
I used to know, I don't remember, but yeah, I know it is.
We're not good comic book fans.
They
We
are-
don't
they
know
do-
all the technical terms.
They make them look like ribbons in this one.
Yeah, the little square boxes on the pages where they say things that aren't coming out of people's mouths. Those boxes, it's the "'Twas the Night Before Christmas" song, and it's like following panel by panel by panel. It's like singing the song,
Mm-hmm.
and as it's doing that, we're seeing all these things happen around Gotham City at night. It's kind of like Batman Returns a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we see Bruce and Dick, and they're shopping for presents, and interacting with people in Gotham City. And then they approach this kid and ask him about his house for some reason. And then the kid says things aren't going so well, and Bruce Wayne gives him some money.
He gives them a wad of cash.
He does, and he tells him to go buy some Christmas dinner and some presents.
Bruce looks like Dick Tracy, especially with the yellow hat.
I mean, he kind of does anyways because he's got the big square jaw, but the
Yeah.
yellow hat and the square jaw, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Then they head back to Wayne Manor, where they apparently dump all the presents they just bought under their own Christmas tree. And then Dick is talking about how Christmas is great and all that, but blank. And then Bruce is like, but what, Dick? And he talks about how he wishes they could bring cheer to the loneliest people in the world who don't really get to experience Christmas the way that they do. So Bruce is like, good idea. And then they suit up like Batman and Robin for some reason. And they completely decorate the bat plane like a sleigh. They even give it rails like a sleigh, which there's definitely some forethought there.
It's cool, but I wonder like if that like aerodynamically fucks with it.
Maybe it's just the bat sleigh, and it's just
Maybe.
another thing that we didn't know that he had already.
Yeah, it would make sense that he would have a sleigh.
Yeah, it's a regular Santa Claus sled with runners, sleigh, and bells. That's what he says. But it also has the bat face.
But they're
and all
flying at next panel, so
Yeah, yeah. And then they go flying. So I guess their goal is to find the loneliest men in the world and make their Christmas great. Then we cut to, what's this guy's name?
Gordon?
Dirk Danger.
Oh, Dirk Danger.
Dirk Danger in the office of Commissioner Gordon. He wants Batman dead, which most people in Gotham City do if they're criminals. Then
Yeah.
Batman busts into the window. Commissioner Gordon and what's his name? Dirk are surprised.
It's very ballsy to go into the commissioner's place and be like, hey, you're that like vigilante that you basically like endorse.
Yeah.
I want him dead.
I like how he says it too. He's just like, I'll believe in Santa Claus when I read Batman's obituary.
Yeah.
Like Santa Claus would give you that for Christmas, you asshole.
He does this on Christmas too. That's a lot of balls.
I know. Well, apparently Dirk's got some.
Yep.
So anyways, Batman shows up and Dirk's not happy. Then Dirk leaves and Robin kind of talks about, I don't know what Robin's trying to say. He's basically just telling Dirk to go away and that they'll probably run into each other later.
Go away, Dirk. We're trying to celebrate Christmas.
Basically. And then he says, bah. I'm surprised he doesn't say humbug. As Dirk walks away, he thinks to himself about how much he hates Batman. And then he goes back to his underworld rendezvous spot and meets up with these gangsters that work for him. And they say that they're going to make Batman look like the biggest sap in town.
On Christmas? What a jerk.
Yep. Then we cut to a nightclub where what is this guy? The chauffeur?
He's
Not
not.
chauffeur.
I think he's a doorman.
He's a doorman. I don't know all these fancy terms.
We don't have doormen anymore.
Yeah. We cut to the front of the nightclub and the doorman standing out there, freezing cold, shivering, and thinking to himself how cold it is for himself. And then Batman and Robin show up. And they show up to give him a present? That's what it looks like, right?
Yeah, it looks like he's holding.
It looks like he's holding a hammer in the bottom panel, but I'm pretty sure they're
I think it's a shovel, but it looks like a shovel that he like gift wrapped.
What a shitty gift.
Right?
Hey, doorman, here's a shovel to shovel some snow. Merry Christmas.
Yeah, this will make your job easier, you piece of shit.
That's so lame. I would be like, thanks a lot.
Yeah, but they do something nice for him, and like for real.
It's free, but it's still a shovel to do your job with. And then all three of them enter the nightclub.
Well, because he basically like he's throwing the party in his honor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They get inside, and everybody's like, "Oh my God, Batman! Wow!"
Mm-hmm.
Then Batman makes some speech to the people of the nightclub, not to forget about their most neglected employee. He brings a lot of attention to how neglected this guy is and how people don't treat him well.
Yeah.
It's kind of embarrassing, but I get that he means well.
He's probably like a pillar of the community. Like he's old. He's probably been there for decades, and like everybody who's ever lived there knows him, and they just kind of like they appreciate him, but they take him for granted. That's I think what they're going for.
Yeah. I know that's what they're going for. It just seems like he's really like putting a spotlight on him in an embarrassing way. Anyways, the party continues on, and then where does it go from here?
Dirk busts in with his goons.
Busts in like the Joker in Dark Knight.
Yeah.
I don't know why I referenced that movie.
Well, that's what Joker did.
Yeah, that's pretty similar. And then he pulls a gun on the doorman. Dude, this one is like really hard to like breathe through because you have to look like 5 panels ahead.
Yeah, well, basically he like bursts in and he's like threatening to shoot. It's like you start shooting people. He wants jewels.
Yeah,
he wants cash. He's gonna be like, give me the jewels or start shooting, and then a fight happens. Obviously,
but then what is this present? What is it?
I don't even know. I still don't know what it is.
Yeah, I don't know what it is either. It looks like a basketball hoop. First, it looks like a box. Then it looks like a basketball hoop, like a mini one. Then Robin pushes a button, and the two gangsters who are standing are like, "What the hell is this thing?" And then it flips open and smacks them both in the face.
Yeah.
Like, what is it?
Robin says a new kind of seat cane, a handy gadget for a man who spends a lot of time on his feet.
Oh my God.
A seat cane?
I thought about this in high school. I was like, how cool would it be if you had like a cane, you push button, and it turns into a seat, and you can sit wherever you want. But it really doesn't seem practical.
No, it'd have the stability.
and it doesn't look like that's what it is.
Yeah, it kind of like from here it looks like did you say basketball hoop?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, yeah, it looks like a
It
basketball
looks like
hoop.
a miniature basketball hoop, and
Yeah,
then all of a
like
sudden it's a seat.
kind you throw like paper balls at.
How could that be an effective cane?
I don't know.
Whatever.
You know what? Maybe it's one of those things like because we got Batman, the inventor Batman, and he's like, I'm going to invent things, and then he's just got some things that are just
That don't make any sense.
they don't work, and he's like,
half of what he makes is like as seen on TV items, and the other half works really well.
yeah,
But he
and,
keeps those for himself.
and the stuff that he's just like, okay, this doesn't make any sense. I'm just gonna give it away to somebody randomly.
Look, Robin uses the seat cane to jab I guess Dirk or some gangster that's dressed like him
Yeah.
right in the ribs with it, but he's holding it under his arm like a crutch. So maybe that's how you use it.
Mm, I
Like a
don't.
crutch.
It doesn't make any sense.
And Dirk pulls a gun on Batman. And then before he can shoot Batman, the doorman chucks a turkey at his head. I think it's turkey.
It's either a turkey or a chicken. I don't know. It's a good visual though.
Either way, it's a bunch of meat. And it's effective. Dirk goes running off and Batman doesn't get shot.
Yeah, he doesn't get shot, and they're
Eh.
like, "Well, that was a thing that happened, and now let's go flying around."
And then, don't forget, they double the doorman's salary because he saves Batman's life.
That is true.
That's pretty awesome. That's a much better present, in my opinion, than a stupid chair cane.
Yeah, that is a killer. That's awesome. Good for
Yeah.
him. But he's probably gonna like retire in like 2 months. He's old.
True. That's maybe why they did it. Then they get back into the bat plane sled thing and start heading out into the city to patrol and spread Christmas cheer, I guess.
Yeah.
And then we cut to Dirk.
No, we cut to a man named Link Chesney.
Oh, you're right. He looks similar.
Yeah, I think they're going for like the Scrooge with this guy.
Yeah, in a way, yeah. But he turns around a lot quicker. But
Look
yeah, they go to this guy in his house, Link Chesney. What a name. What were we gonna say?
His face is so like ugly.
He's I can't think of the name of the actor right now, but he's specifically modeled after a certain actor.
Okay,
That's like that one where I
makes
was like, oh,
sense.
that guy looks like Peter Lorre. Like he's
Yeah.
modeled after someone.
I was thinking Peter Lorre, even though I know it wasn't him.
No, he's
Apparently, I read something interesting with Peter Lorre is that he was like a union actor,
mhm.
and the studio, like Warner Brothers, apparently they hated him and they kind of like blacklisted him.
That sucks.
Yeah. So as a revenge, like the animators, like who did like Looney Tunes, they were like friends with him.
Oh,
right?
they put his image into everything.
They put his image into everything as like a fuck you to them.
Yeah.
So basically, they immortalized him. Like so, like decades after his death, like I think he's like at this point more famous for his Looney Tunes like
Yeah.
caricature than he is like it for his own stuff.
That was the first time I saw him was as a cartoon character.
Yeah.
And then I saw him in real life and was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
All right, back to the story. Link Chesney is kicking it in his high-rise mansion, apartment, whatever.
Loft, maybe?
Fancy loft.
Yeah.
And then the doorbell rings. And he's not sure why, because he gave his manservants the night off. See, he's not Scrooge. He gave people
Yeah,
the night
I
off.
guess yeah, that's true.
He's just the loneliest man in the world.
That is true.
One of the loneliest men in the world.
Yeah, because Doorman would be lonely because he's
Yeah,
just
'cause
he's got to
he
let
stands out
people
there
in
in the
now.
cold. Yeah, exactly. So then all of a sudden, hey, it's Batman and Robin at the door, and he's like, hey, can we come in? And of course you can come in. It's Batman.
Mhm.
So he lets him in, and then he's like, thanks for chilling me up, but I'm never gonna cheer up,
Yeah.
right? Because why? Because he's got a file full of jokes. Like,
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't understand why he's so lonely. Because no one understands him. He's really, really funny, and he has millions of jokes, but he's unhappy.
I think it's
He's like the Joker,
well, I mean,
except he's not a killer.
I know comedians like tend to be like you would think, oh yeah, comedian, he's got to be so funny and so happy, but a lot of them are like just miserable people.
Yeah, they're just
So-
making jokes so that they don't want to kill themselves.
I mean, it's therapy, I guess, but
It is.
This might be that thing, and you're just like, yeah, okay, well, I'm rich and successful, but it didn't bring me happiness.
No.
But what will bring me happiness is like this weird like S&M contraption with Batman.
Yeah. Well, after he gives this whole spiel about it, why he's unhappy and how no one understands him, all these gangsters break into his house with what's his name again? Dirk. And they start swinging on Batman and Robin. And then poor Robin and Batman both get smacked in the head, one with the blackjack and one with the pistol. I don't know why we haven't started the Robin head hit count yet. We should
Right.
have, and we should like hit a button every time it happens,
Oh, that's a good
like the
idea.
pow
Yeah.
sound or something.
Yeah.
Because it's like this is like at least 20 at this point.
Did you see the Spirit movie?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I like. It's not a great movie, but I do appreciate it.
I do. I still enjoy it thoroughly, although it's not a great adaptation.
No, like it's definitely not a great adaptation. As a movie, it's just very interesting. But it did. He like Batman and Robin. He gets like in the comics, he gets hit on the head all the time.
Yeah.
And the movie like explained a thing that just didn't need explaining, which is like how he's able to survive all this. Is like he's basically like got Wolverine mutant powers
Yeah.
as a result of being resurrected.
Yeah. He can heal slowly over time.
Yeah, like you gotta like so I don't know. It's just kind of interesting how like Frank Miller, back to Frank Miller, is like
Yeah, that's true.
he's observing
Full
the same.
circle,
He's
Frank
observing
Miller.
the same thing, and he's like, they got hit on the head a lot, and that's how we paid homage to one of the greatest Golden Age characters, and that trope in general.
I do enjoy that movie.
Yeah,
It's not any less spirity than like Tim Burton's Batman is Batman-y.
no, and you know it's and what I really liked was that like there was the spirits, arch enemy, the octopus.
Mm-hmm.
He's basically like the inspiration for the claw, right?
Yeah, he's like an disembodied hand.
Yeah. So like they never like drew him or they never revealed him. So there's no like there'd be no good way of revealing what he looked like that wouldn't upset people. So
Mhm.
like they did have the brilliant idea of hiring Samuel L. Jackson and putting him in like the craziest outfit every time he shows up.
He's like Queen Amidala.
Yeah. Yes. So I do appreciate that.
Yeah.
They went for like full camp with Samuel L. Jackson.
It works. And someone should try to do some sort of weird colorization of that movie because I think it would look cool in a lot of different ways.
There's definitely things that could be done with that.
Yeah. Back to Batman. Batman and Robin are unconscious, and the gangsters are discussing what to do. I don't understand why nobody just like shoots Batman in the head when he's knocked out.
Yeah.
This happens a lot, and like they always give him way too much time to get away.
They never like stick around to make sure he's actually dead.
Or that like this one, it's like some saw trap.
Yeah.
They like put a noose around their necks and tie them to a radiator, and then they like put it around the lamp, and then they make a guy stand on a stool, and they're like, when he falls off, you're gonna get hung.
It's just one. There's not enough like length. It's like
No.
it's like a little like
He
footstool.
could just jump on the ground and nothing would happen.
Yeah, like it would like tighten around their necks and
Right.
be uncomfortable.
I'm really uncomfortable, Robin.
Yeah, maybe break like a small bone. I don't know,
Maybe.
but like it wouldn't like suffocate them,
No.
and it wouldn't lift. It wouldn't lift Robin alone, let alone like beefy ass Batman.
No. But Dirk's pretty happy with it. He seems pretty full of himself when they leave with that whole
Yeah.
filing cabinet full of jokes.
Do you think they brought the ropes with them?
Yeah, probably.
Because otherwise, that would mean the comedian's got like all this like ropes around, and you're like, why does he have like these ropes?
Maybe he does.
I don't
I like the initial thought that he's got ropes around for weird reasons.
He's probably into some kinky shit.
Yeah. But he's so lonely.
Yep.
Lonely people are into weird stuff. Anyways, then we see this like cool shot of a lighthouse that looks like it's being blown over by a hurricane, but apparently it's not. It's okay. And inside, the lighthouse guy is also lonely. Surprise, surprise.
He is one of the loneliest men in the world.
Mm-hmm. Then we cut to Dirk infiltrating the lighthouse. He goes up to the top of the lighthouse after he busts down the door and pulls a gun on the lighthouse attendant. He doesn't really like pull it on him. I guess he's more like threatens him.
He's just basically like, we're here, we're doing these things.
He's still holding his gun by the barrel, and he's like pretending like he's gonna pistol whip everybody.
Yeah.
And then we cut back to Batman and the guy on the stool who totally wouldn't harm Batman by doing this. But Batman uses his incredible leg power to like shove his feet under the stool and leg lift this guy high enough that he can jump onto the radiator behind their head that they're attached to. And then he kicks the stool into the lights and shatters them, then catches the glass as it falls and uses the glass to cut the ropes free.
I think that's our title for the episode is Batman's incredible leg power.
Seriously. Like he saved himself not with his own ingenuity, but with his own leg muscles.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, technically, I guess he saves people with his arm muscles all the time by punching people out.
Mm-hmm.
Then, like, instead of calling the cops or doing anything reasonable, Batman and Robin start talking to the guy, and they tell him that he's not actually as lonely as he thinks. Give him a couple seconds, and then the phone's going to ring. Pick up the phone, and you'll see what we mean. Then he picks up the phone, and a bunch of, like, random people that he hasn't seen in a while start telling him Merry Christmas or singing Merry Christmas or something like that.
Yeah.
And he's touched. He can't believe it. Oh my God, this is the best Christmas ever, Batman and Robin. Thank you so much. You're welcome. They leave. They get back in the bat plane and they fly away towards the sea, where they find a boat with the murdering rats on it, with Dirk and his couple henchmen that are still left. And then they jump on the boat, start knocking them out. They pull guns on them. They knock the guns out of their hands, and then he uppercuts Dirk into, like, what is that, an electrical panel?
I guess, yeah, maybe like a breaker box type thing.
Yeah. Anyways, he gets electrocuted, and his dialogue shows that because it's got like hyphens between every single letter. He said, "I surrender. Let me down. I can't stand it." Pretty real.
You gotta like, he's being electrocuted. Like,
Yeah.
he can't really. How does Batman's got rubber gloves? I'm sure, so he probably can
Even
pull
if
them
he
off.
didn't, they would say he did.
Yeah.
And then, of course, Dirk gets brought into the police. Batman and Robin, with the help of the lighthouse keeper, who's now dressed kind of like a Christmas elf.
His name is Tom Wicks.
Yeah. They wrap him up in a giant bow and they put a tag on it that says "To Gordon from Batman," basically, and then they drop him off at the commissioner's office.
And a Merry Christmas was had by all.
Yeah. That was a hard one to read because, like, there's nothing happening, but there's so much art.
Yeah. It's kind of interesting that they're like, we can't just do like the Christmas story.
Yeah.
It's been done a billion times. It's old hat by now, 1943. So let's do it. So there's like 3 Scrooges of various degree, but they're not all like evil or angry. They're just lonely, and we'll make their days happy and nice, and we'll arrest somebody.
It was a fun read.
Yeah.
It's not as fun when you have to break it down really slowly and absorb it all, like every little detail.
Mhm.
But it's a Christmas story. There's not that many DC Christmas issues, and especially not that many Batman Christmas issues. So enjoy it.
It was a fun one, not like a perfect one, but we do get to see Batman break some ropes with his incredible leg muscles.
There you go.
All right, so what is on the docket for next time? We're gonna finish. We finished off that Batman number 15, and it's been forever since we've gone to Detective Comics. So we're gonna do Detective Comics number 75, The Robber Baron, and Detective Comics 76, Slay 'Em with Flowers. And kind of wish we didn't hold off this one because very significant addition to the Batman mythos.
Yeah, it is. I liked it a lot.
All right, well, we'll see you next week. Thank you so much for listening, and good night.
Later.